traveling with 20,000 balloons to take a house into the air. The 78-year-old man has finally embarked on his dream trip, watching familiar neighborhoods fade away. This time he's determined to reach the paradise waterfall he and his partner have been planning all their lives. He used a bath towel and a curtain as a sail to control his direction. Unfortunately, he was the only one on the trip. But then there was a sudden knock at the door from the clouds. Carl shuddered. How could there be a knock on his door when he was in the sky? He thought maybe his hearing aid was malfunctioning. But then the knocking started all over again. Carl decided to find out. He opened the door to find a boy at the door. The boy tried to enter the house but was refused. Even though Carl didn't want to take this guy with him, he reluctantly chose to accept him. After all, it was a living being. Below them were the skyscrapers. Carl thought he might be able to dispose of this unwelcome guest so he could continue his journey. And so Jack was left hanging out there. All he had to do was put him on the roof of one of the buildings. But the rope suddenly slipped out of his hand. Luckily, the false alarm was just a figment of Carl's imagination. He turned his head to the fireplace and decided to release all the balloons to bring the house down to earth to end the journey. But Jack's incessant chatter forced him to switch off his hearing aid, and the world fell silent. But there was a storm that he ignored. It wasn't until a thunderclap that Carl realized the gravity of the situation. The flying house was approaching a dark cloud of thunder and lightning. He immediately changed the direction of the house, but it was too late. The storm engulfed them in an instant. The pieces of the house were out of place and in disarray. Carl tried to put them back in place, but the traveling fund that he and Ellie had been saving up for their whole lives had also fallen. He turned around and saved the jar of loose change, but the fond memories of his wife were beginning to be shaken. Carl took them into his arms and saved Ellie's color photographs. Against all odds, the flying house swayed in the stormy weather, like their fate hanging in the balance. I don't know how long it took for the rain to clear. Jack woke a sleeping Carl. He was out of danger, but Carl had lost his way. Luckily, Jack had his GPS with him, but the next moment, the GPS fell from the sky. Now they had nothing. Carl had to release some balloons, slowly descending to take Jack home. As the flying house penetrated the clouds, a fog with very low visibility came into view. The sudden appearance of Stonehenge signaled the return of danger.